Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated.
This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight. Sighting all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light is my passes way.
Rangers, welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong 2021 edition. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Josh, and I am the red debater.
Aye. I'm Alpha 84, a.k.a. Joe.
I thought you were going to be a ranger.
Aye. Oh, no. I can be Blue Ranger then.
Joe didn't get the memo on this one, Ryandon.
Did you get it? I was doing like a Zordon thing.
No, good.
We got it.
It
It was a good try. Listen, we're trying to bring a new energy into 2021, and that was perfect.
What the feedback that we got was more silly bits. We need more bits.
Yeah, we heard you loud and clear. More modulated voices, more fake characters. So Ryandon is here to stay. Ryan is doing the whole episode.
We're bringing back the moderator's office craziness.
Ryandon, that's the best.
Ryandon, whole episode. We're not changing his voice at all.
Yeah, it's just Ryandon. Well, anyway, welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong. We this week are going to be the very first debate of 2021.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I turned off the voice modulator. You're back to normal, Ryan. It was getting too much for me, though.
Okay, sorry everybody. Okay, I think I sound like myself now. That Zordon thing, it's hard to get out of. But I think it's time for us to get into our wheelhouse, and that is 90s nostalgia and obscure debates, and that's what we're going to do.
Back on our bullshit, baby.
Back on our bullshit of Power Rangers. What is the Zord that is the worst possible animal morphin thing?
As you can tell, Ryan knows a lot about the topic we're debating today.
Let me help expound that. What I think what Ryan was trying to say is if we had to reimagine the creature or the animal that the Rangers would when they morphed into with their power crystals, what Zord would represent. I think we are here today to pick out a new creature for the new Zord of each prospective Ranger.
Yeah.
Well said.
They don't actually change, as I had to explain to Josh and Ryan last night after Josh.
No, you did not have to explain it to me.
You didn't. I think it's just a parlance that we have difference of. We understand. Like, I watch the Power Rangers. I know they don't turn into anything.
But Josh said they turned into a Zord.
Well, they morph together into Megazord.
They have a power crystal, a power coin that they can, when they morph, becomes a power crystal, and they enter the Zord. The Zords are independent creatures. They come up from the earth.
Yes, one lives in the jungle, one's in the desert.
One lives in the polar ice caps. I never understood that. They all get there at the same time, though, which is the weird thing.
I think before we talk too much about the actual Zords, we need to talk about this show. And the fact that how it was made is a little bit shocking. I think a lot of people know this, but some of our listeners may not. Most of the footage that you see is actually from a different television show that was made in Japan.
Mike and Molly.
Yes, Melissa McCarthy definitely would. I don't know how you could just miss her as the Pink Ranger.
Yeah, it's just they're at the high school chit chatting, and all of a sudden it's like,
Melissa McCarthy.
What's going on here? Two people living in domestic bliss having a misunderstanding.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You could offer me $1 million right now, and I could not come up with that guy's name.
And he's been on like 9 television shows.
Yeah, he's not like he's some slouch.
Mike is played by Billy Gardell. So if you're ever looking for some
wouldn't have gotten to Billy if you gave me 100 guesses.
If you're looking for some good Billy Gardell content, there you go. Start with Mike and Molly and then work your way back through whatever he's doing these days.
I think he was on King of Queens.
Was he on King of Queens?
Yes, he was his friend. I worked at like UPS with him. But I was a huge Power Rangers fan growing up. I actually, I think still either in my attic or my parents' attic, I have VHS tapes of episodes of Power Rangers.
Oh, I had many VHS tapes, and I also had like a ton of toys. I had the little Power Ranger figures, which I think we've actually talked about this on the show, but the little Power Ranger figures where you could press their belt and their head flipped around.
Yes, had that set. I had the Zords.
Had many of the Zords.
Yep.
I had a full-on White Ranger costume with gloves that had a little button in them so it would say phrases. I was all in. Now, I stopped watching it about the age I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7. Completely forgot all of it. So this has been a nice learning experience for me.
Every year for I think I mentioned this on the Ninja Turtle episode, but every year for Halloween, I would either go as the Blue Ranger or the orange Michelangelo, the orange Ninja Turtle. I would rotate every year. Same thing.
That's actually similar to my costume strategy these days is I alternate between Mike and Molly year to year. So
it's weird. I picture you much more as Molly than Mike.
Oh,
well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. She's a beautiful woman. Billy Gardell's a beautiful man. I look good every year, no matter what.
So, but no, I was, so fun fact, the Power Rangers are on Netflix right now. And my daughter loves to watch them.
Your daughter loves to watch them, or you have forced your daughter to watch them, and now she watches them because of you.
No. She was, one day I was watching it by myself, and she came up and started watching it with me. But do you all know in a season of Power Rangers, there was 63 episodes?
What?
How they got to that number? Season 1 of the Power Rangers is like 62 or 60. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
I've got it pulled up.
It's on Netflix still. I'm probably going to watch some after this.
Actually, this is something that I am very passionate about. I think we waste a ton of our Hollywood resources by making so many episodes of children's show. Like, just make 5 and then just play them over and over again. The kid's not going to know any different. So the fact that they made 63 of these things seems excessive.
I'm sorry, 60 episodes in season 1.
What about season 2? Season 2 and season 3, they continue, or did they shorten them?
Season 2 had 52.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So a little shorter, a little lighter workload. And season 3 had 33.
33 is a little bit closer to like a real like sitcom, like 22 type episode. But 60, I mean, you're talking about exploring the arc of every single character. I mean,
18 times.
Every single Power Ranger could have 10 episodes just to themselves.
So just to put this into perspective, comparing it to like popular like American shows.
I was going to say The Simpsons would be a good comparison.
Yeah, or Mike and Molly, which had 127 episodes.
That
and only
show
had about
127 episodes.
It did. I'm looking at it right now.
Man, Mike and Molly. We're going to have a Mike and Molly topic. The next topic is Mike or Molly.
I'm signing up to debate.
So it looks like there's also a remastered of the season 1 on Netflix too, where you can like watch it in high def.
Well, I think I know what I'm going to be doing the rest of this break before I go back to work. All right. Well, a little more about the Power Rangers. Did anybody else have their first television crush on Kimberly Hart?
Yes.
I mean, I think everybody did, honestly.
I mean, I feel like, especially for our specific age, like the Pink Ranger, she was just so nice and so sweet.
And she wore that weird like tennis skirt on top of her Ranger outfit.
Yeah.
The Yellow Ranger did not get one.
Yep.
But her, Tommy, the Pink Ranger, the White Ranger, and the Blue Ranger were the only Rangers that consistently stuck around.
The whole Green Ranger storyline, I always thought was actually like a really advanced storyline for a relatively kids show.
That's where I am currently in the
rewatch.
Where I'm watching. I'm in season 2, and he's becoming the Green Ranger, but his power is slowly wearing away.
Check out Joe's new podcast, the Power Rangers rewatch.
It's just me by myself, so I call it the Lone Ranger. Did you guys ever see the movie?
I think I did, actually. I heard it was terrible.
I love that movie. I wish it was on. I own it on VHS. I want to buy it on DVD. I love it.
Wasn't there one that they made not that long ago?
They made one in 2017. It had what's her name? Is it Elizabeth Banks?
Yep. Ryan, you actually, I remember you telling me that you saw that one, much like another Much like another popular 90s franchise that was relaunched in the 2000s, I think you made out during the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Power Rangers tonsil hockey.
That was my understanding, at least, but I could be wrong.
I think you're making that up.
Considering Leah doesn't exist, I guess you could call Ryan's experience the Lone Ranger as well. So,
Man. All right. Well, I guess this is what happens when you moderate. Well, all right, Joe. Let's go ahead and get Josh's first loss of the year.
Hold on. Look, I don't mean to delay this any longer, but we did agree that in 2021 we are restarting the records.
I think we did agree to that.
So we're all 0-0. So I'm no longer a loser.
Listeners, I just want you to know, since Josh is making as big a deal about this record, we are going to keep track and give you the records in every episode. So because this is so important to him, when he loses royally again, because he can't debate the actual debate, and we double him up, it'll be that much more embarrassing for him.
No, look, I have reevaluated my strategy. I came prepared today to argue a Joe-style debate. My energy is up. I got my Peloton in early. My energy is jazzed. I had a great ride. I'm ready to go. I'm focused.
All right, rear resolution. I'm marking that down.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
There's your first mention.
Damn. Well, regardless, I am prepared today to kick Joe's ass, so let's do this.
So the question is, what animal would be the worst Zord for a Power Ranger to inhabit? The debaters today will choose one Power Ranger, regardless of color, and then they will choose the worst Zord that they will inhabit, and we will discuss powers and all the things that entails. So I'm going to start with Josh. Give him a fighting chance and let him go first.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan. So I like I said, I wanted to play it more safe. I could have gone out there. I thought, my guy's his Zord's going to be something very 2020 specific to celebrate the new year. He could be like a house plant.
Something really abstract.
Yeah, he could be like a house plant or a loaf of sourdough bread or something. But I didn't want to get too creative because when I do that, you can't follow my plot and I end up losing. So I wanted to go with something more traditional. So I focused in.
Maybe they're just bad.
No, I'm not. I focused in on the Red Ranger, who was now granted, I know he's, the main guy, but he was my favorite as a kid. And so I wanted to focus on that. So I've got a Red Ranger here, and I decided what would be the most useless, creature that a Zord could be. And I cycled through a lot of different options, but I ultimately ended up on a Zord that is a common house cat.
All right. I like this choice. And now support your work.
They lay around. Dogs are man's best friend. They're there to play with you, there to be by your side. A cat is the opposite. So having him function within the Power Rangers and try to getting this Ranger to be a part of the team is non-existent. He's off on his own, scratching on the walls, ignoring everybody, not anybody's friend. They just lay around in the sun. Once they hit the sun, they're just like, I'm just going to lay here all day and ignore you. So when they're out in the desert fighting all these evil giant, creatures and robots and whatnot, he's just going to be lounging, just laying there, soaking it in, dreaming about better days when it can go to sleep, wake up again and lay in the sun for another day.
Just laying upside down, pawing at the other Zords.
Exactly. It's like half-assing it, just kind of, shaking a paw at them. And so it's just going to be incredibly unhelpful, not going to be a team player, and going to completely disrupt the chemistry of everything that's going on unless everybody else is a house cat, in which case they will, I guess, team up and attack humans, because that's generally what a pack of house cats does when I come over to somebody's place.
All right. I think that's a good introduction. I'm gonna toss it over to Joe. Let's hear about your Zord.
Well, first off, I'm worried about Angel Grove, because if they're relying on a house cat to protect them, they're in trouble. When this question was asked, I started thinking about, okay, so there's a lot of different Zords. There's the Ninjetti, there's the original Dragon Zords, there's the Ultra Zords, there's just different things. And
I'm in trouble.
When I think of it, I think of how it looks when it becomes the Megazord. So I stuck with my favorite Ranger. Billy, the Blue Ranger, was always my favorite. Billy Cranston. He was the smart guy, kind of a nerd. I'm not claiming I'm smart, but I was definitely a nerd growing up, so I identified with him. And I love Blue. Come on, go Cats. So the Zords match their owners, in my opinion. So Josh is the Red Ranger, which is the powerful leader, the one that's very brave. His house cat, I don't know, that moniker, it may not go together. For my Zord, I chose a potbelly pig. And the reason I chose that is pigs are one of the most intelligent animals out there. So I took the animal with large brain power and put them with the ranger with large brain power. So they mesh.
When I think about pigs, the first thing that I think is what an intelligent creature.
They act, surprisingly, they are.
No,
you can look
I
at
mean,
there's
I believe you.
There's a lot of science that's about that. They are actually one of the, as far as like their brain setup, they're very similar to humans.
Is that why you guys always tell me I'm so smart?
Because we think you're a pig.
Buddy.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Of course
I
not.
also call you Bacon, but that's just a pet name of mine.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, I chose the potbelly pig, and I to me, it'd be a terrible Zord because it's fat, and I, honestly, I pictured the pig from Toy Story, short legs, big Hank. That's right, big fat stomach, and it has to have the little twirly tail on the backside.
The twirly tail is important. So we're talking about potbelly, like a 200-pound potbelly pig.
Big pig, piggy bank pig is what
Piggy
I'm
bank
thinking.
pig.
Piggy bank pig. Hank the piggy bank pig. Got it.
Yeah, Hank. All right. So I also had to do, I don't know if I have even mentioned this so far. I was not a huge Power Rangers fan. I watched it, was not an avid fan, did not watch all of them like
Just
Joe.
too busy making out.
Just too busy getting some. But so in my I did a little bit of research before we sat down, and each of the Zords does have their own specific power, and they also have where in the Megazord they would be, and also where they live. So I want to start with, where do each of your Zords live? And where do they form into the Megazord? We'll go back to Josh.
All right. So as far as the location of my Zord, you know, we talked about earlier, somewhere in the Arctic, somewhere in the desert. But I think there's only one place that my Zord can inhabit, and that is a 10th floor apartment in New York City. So it just hangs out in there until it's needed. And then it shows up.
Now, the other thing is,
These are very large.
the average height of these Zords is like the ones that would be similar to like a cat makeup. Like the Sabretooth one is 13 meters high. So
Yeah, well, so it actually has 2 units so that it can bust through the ceiling and inhabit both.
So it must be the penthouse.
No, it's not a penthouse. They got a really good deal. It was rent control, 2 levels right above
it's
each
a
other.
2-level, but it's in the
Yeah.
middle.
I say the 10th floor because that's where it's sitting, but it's actually technically the 10th and 11th floor.
Okay, gotcha.
So just let me clarify that. And it's right by the window, too. So,
Okay.
you know.
Do they just constantly replace the window, or is there like a garage door?
Magic, I think.
It's magic.
It's magic.
So when this Zord is called in, I have a quick question. Does it jump off the building like a cat would?
Does it jump from building to building?
Yeah. It jumps from building to building.
I want to talk to the structural engineer of these buildings, because he is a genius.
Well, you know.
Yeah, it also says that they weigh about 140 tons.
Well, you know, look.
You really thought this one through,
We're
buddy.
suspending our disbelief here. You
That's
know?
true. I mean, it is Power Rangers. They would beat 100 of those little minions by themselves.
Technology has progressed since the 90s.
That's true. These are 2020 Zords, so they're made out of carbon fiber. They're super light.
Yeah. They're much more lighter, aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Minions are from Despicable Me. They fought putties with part of the Putty Patrol.
Yes, you're right. That's the word. I could not think of the word. Okay, Josh. So it flies out of the 10th story building in New York.
Yep.
And it jumps from building to building.
Super inconvenient.
I can't even. The poor people in New York, man, they're just on their way to work that day as this giant cat lands on top of their car.
If we are in this universe with like action movies and all this stuff going on, a giant cat launching out of a building is the least of a town's worry, where they've had lizards and big gorillas knocking stuff over. So like,
There is a welcome sight.
yeah, it's honestly friendly. So anyway, it lives in New York City. As far as any kind of special powers that it has, It has a specific power where if it's called anytime between like 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., doesn't show up. Just stays asleep.
It's got working hours.
Yeah, it's got working hours. It's not coming.
It has a really strict, as we all learned in 2020, it has a really strict work-home life balance, and it will not answer those emails if they come between 1 and 5.
Not at all. Now, the other thing that it has some mighty paws. It can beat it is not declawed. The owner did not believe in that, so it can bat some stuff around. The only problem is it will rely on another Zord to like dangle it up in the air or whatever the enemy is.
It has to be
enemy
interested.
has to be dangling or the paw attack does not work.
Gotcha.
Does that make
And
sense?
God forbid Rita Repulsa or General Zed get any kind of monster that has catnip.
Oh, man.
Well,
Then you're
That's
in
all
trouble.
it would take, and it would be
Look.
tripping out.
There are so many distractions, and I think this is what makes it so bad. There are so many things that make it just completely unable to compete on a battlefield because it'll just easily get distracted. Catnip, toys, whatever it is, Rita Repulsa probably has this thing scouted out, is bringing like scratching posts and all sorts of other stuff. So it can't do anything. And then as far as where it's going to be located on the Megazord, when they all come together and form the big Megazord, I think... it could be an arm, a leg, it's got this powerful paw. I get all that, but this thing is useless and it doesn't show up all the time. So we need to put it somewhere where it could be there, could not be there, but it may or may not make a difference. And so that is why my Zord is going to be located on the Megazord's brand new tail.
So it just attaches to the back.
Yeah.
If it's there.
Yeah. The Zord now has just an enormous tail. That is the house cat Zord hanging off the back.
So we're talking like a Godzilla tail, like a tail.
Like a tail. Yeah, like you could do some damage with it. Yeah. Like,
Okay, gotcha.
Because Tommy's Dragon Tail had a spitting drill bit on the end that would cause a lot of damage to the monsters it was fighting.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
The house cat
Zords
doesn't have
with
that.
tails are not unheard of.
It's got some claws.
All right. So we got the house cat.
Ryan, if I can, I have a few questions.
Oh,
for you.
absolutely.
Fire away.
You said this cat was associated with a Red Ranger, correct?
Yep.
You also said this Zord doesn't show up all the time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what does the Red Ranger do when the rest of the Rangers are in battle with one of Rita Repulsa's or Lord Emperor Zed's giant creatures are doing, and the cat doesn't show up? Does the Red Ranger just sit there on his hands and hope for the best?
Yeah, he's just kind of screwed. He made a poor decision when he went and made his selection, and so
also that would leave 4 other Zords. How does this 4 Zords make up a body of a Megazord?
Because it's a tail.
yeah.
But the tail has to attach to something. Historically, the Red Ranger is the bulk of the body of the Ranger.
Listen, that's not up to me. I'm only making decisions for the Red Ranger.
Well, I'm just wondering, your city's not going to matter because the city's going to be destroyed because there won't be any Zord to fight these large creatures because your tail
That is
of
true,
your
but
Megazord is
hey,
sitting at home.
Ryan, could you just a second, Joe? Ryan, could you remind me what the topic was for this episode?
The topic was the worst Zord.
I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm just saying.
Listen, I think
that it really makes a lot
I
of
think to be
sense.
fair, a lot of the things that he's outlined I would describe as the worst Zord. So
It would be also this you wouldn't have to worry about a 60 episode season because Rita and Zed are destroying Angel Grove in episode 2.
and if we're going to be honest, when it does show up, if the sun glares off of a certain Zord and there's a light on the ground,
He's chasing it.
It's going to be
He's
distracted
done.
anyway.
Well, and also,
so.
if it's a nice warm day, he's just going to lay down and curl up anyways.
Sounds like you're making my argument for me.
I was going to say,
I just wanted to ask a few questions. That's okay.
yeah, that cross examination did not benefit you very greatly.
No, it's okay. So, it lives. Angel Grove, watching the show, is a beach town. It's a very tropical kind of climate. So I'm not sure how the travel time from New York City is going to be pretty rough.
Well, one of them lives in the Arctic on the show, so
But also comes up from the Earth.
listen, suspension of disbelief.
Anyways, I believe that the pig, he lives in a giant field. I picture California. LA's on the coast, right by the beach. But if you go inland California, it's kind of sparsely populated, a lot of desert land, some farmland, whatever. The pig lives in that farmland there. He has a nice pasture he lives in. He's got a nice mud pit on one side, a freshwater pond on the other to drink out of. He sits there, he minds his own business until he's called upon by the Blue Ranger. So he lives in a natural habitat where his goal is to not only be part of the Zord, but to better the ecosystem of society.
Okay, so where on the Megazord does the little curly tail stick out?
So I started thinking about where you could put this pig. The problem really lies is I have a short, very bulbous round body and short, stubby little legs and I guess hands or feet.
It's really just a sphere.
There's no real way I can make hands, and the legs aren't long enough to actually be legs. So you couldn't walk on a round ball. So it has to be the center mass. So my Megazord has a gut. I mean, he has a beer belly.
I was gonna say this is a beer belly Zord.
But the cool thing about it is this Megazord looks like BB-8.
So he rolls places.
He can roll. His legs come in and he rolls.
Okay.
And you put arms on it. The head becomes the 5th Ranger. You've got BB-8 Megazord.
I like this transportation mode that Billy the Blue Ranger has. Also, is this a blue pig?
Yeah, no, it's a bluish. It has blue hues to it, but it's still bright pink. But there's like some blue spots on it just to signify the Blue Ranger is part of it.
Okay, gotcha.
He didn't, when Billy and Zordon worked on this Zord, he didn't want to lose the true nature of the pig.
Yeah, you got to keep
the
that.
true nature of the pig. All right, so we have the location. Does it have any sort of usable powers?
The tail stays. So much like BB-8 where his head floats, his tail always floats to the back side.
Is it curly?
It's curly. It's only it's very small, short, and if you touch it, it does go like a spring.
That could be useful though. To be fair,
it is. That's part of it.
It could be so annoying.
So
Well, and when the Zord backs into a building, it bounces off with force.
well, you asked me my special powers. You haven't even let me get there.
Okay,
yet.
go ahead.
So not only has he the ability to roll, so he can roll, take down enemies, but because of this, he can go on any terrain. Pigs are very buoyant, so if the creature has to be in the water, the Zord, the cat's not going anywhere. That creature, the cat's
You're correct.
screwed.
He is
He's
useless.
not going
He is
in
the
water.
worst.
So my Zord, while being bad and still functional, can float out into said water and ocean. The tail is a pivotal part of my Zord. It can, if it wants, it'll roll the tail down below its body and can use it to launch itself catapult style at said enemy, roll into a building, bounce off it in like a pinball machine and hit the enemy.
Also, when you said it floats, I just pictured the tail spinning really fast and it using it as a propeller.
Yeah, that's the rotor. That's the rotor. Yeah, exactly. So it's able to use this momentum it gains from the tail and the shape of it to be able to go to any type of terrain. And also, if need be, it's able to consume large amounts of material to eat it in order to clear a path
So it's gonna
or to dig its way out of a
eat
trap.
through the buildings downtown.
They can, if Rita somehow traps it in anything, they can rely on Billy's pig to eat its way out.
All right. Well, I think I have most of the information I need. We're going to go to the moderator's office and talk about some sponsors, and then we're going to come back and I'll ask a few more questions and we'll figure out exactly who the winner of our very first debate of 2021.
Through the end of 2020 and now into 2021, we have been partnered with Device Pit Stop. Device Pit Stop is a place where you can not only buy brand new electronics, but you can also trade gently used ones in that you don't need anymore. So look, if you got something new for Christmas, you're looking to trade it out and get something else, take it to Device Pit Stop. If you're starting a new semester of school and need to upgrade your computer, check out Device Pit Stop. If you just want to buy something nice for yourself because you know what, you deserve it, go to Device Pit Stop. So Device Pit Stop has everything that you need, whether you're looking for Macs, PCs, gaming systems, sometimes phones, anything. You can find it there. So head over to www.devicepitstopky.com and use the promo code TMIW for 10% off your order. That's good through the end of this month. This is our last month with Device Pit Stop unless they decide they like us enough. So you got to make sure that you use that. So head over there, check out what they got in inventory, find out how you can train your device, and see what you can do to get something brand new for yourself.
Guys, it is 2021. It's a new year. Yes, it is. It's time to start out with a bang, and that bang is telling a friend about Tell Me I'm Wrong. Share the show with a friend. Tell them your favorite episode. Tell them how to subscribe. Tell them where they can find us. Tell one, tell all. Tell Me I'm Wrong. That's the best way you can help us, is to tell a friend, share the show, subscribe, rate and review. That helps us more than anything else you could do. So if you all could do that for us, we'd really appreciate it. We're so thankful for all that you've done to help us in the past. And we just can't say how much we appreciate you guys, but just telling a friend will help us. Make a commitment this week to tell one friend about Tell Me I'm Wrong. That is the best thing you can do to help us out, and we really appreciate it. Let's get back to some Mighty Morphin Power Ranger action.
All right, so let's see if we can wrap up this first debate. Now listen, in my research, I really expected there to be names of these Zords because there's such a deep connection that these Power Rangers have to these Zords. You know, they are inside of them. They use them to defeat these giant animals or things. So this is maybe unconventional, but I need you guys to give me a name for your Zord. Whoever wants to go first.
I think a cat like this is going to have a very stereotypical house cat name because it is nothing special. It is just your run-of-the-mill, everyday house cat. And so I'm just going to assume, let's say the cat's name is like Oscar Zord.
You know what? I think I need you to give me a Zord call.
Okay.
And I think you know what I'm talking about. I need you to get into your method actor mind, and I need you to give me the call of the Zord.
All right. So I think what's going to happen, you got to get the hand motions going. You know what I'm talking about? You got to
exactly.
It's kind of like you're doing, what do the kids call it these days? The whoa, like something like that.
Oh,
grabbing your wrist.
I was going to compare it to a Time Lord.
Time Lord, whatever it may be. You gotta figure out what that's going to be for your Zord. And then you got to get really into it, and you got to kind of, they're always way too long and whatever. So it's going to be like, House Cat, Oscar Zord, power up.
Nice. That was some commitment.
Listen, I am committed in 2021, and I'm coming for the title.
All right, Joe. We need a name and we need a Zord call.
Okay, my name is Pig Eats Saurus Rex.
Pig Eats Saurus Rex. All right. Well, that was excellent. All right. I need a full Zord call.
It's morphin' time! Pig Eats Saurus Rex!
Nice, man. The commitment, I hope that our listeners can feel the commitment that we have to this show.
They didn't see me, but I held my power coin behind my back and then held my morpher out in front of me.
All right. Well, I think I have enough information to make the call. I think we've started off this year strong. I'm really, can I just say, as moderator, I'm really proud of both of you for the effort that you've put in and the commitment to the bit. Now, in consideration, I have to be honest. This wasn't as close as I thought it would be. There's very clearly one definitive winner. And the main reason is because the prompt was, what would be the worst animal Zord? And for that, following the prompt, and I have to give him credit, Josh Ballard with the house cat, Oscar Zord, he was the clear winner. And here's the thing. Joe's commitment to the Power Rangers as a franchise and as a medium is clear. And I think he had trouble separating that he needed that Zord to be a part of the team And he did too good of a job convincing me that pig was going to contribute to the Zord, to the Megazord.
Well, I mean, God forbid that I decide to pick a Zord who's functional and shows up to help.
Joe,
the whole
here's
point
your
of these
problem.
Power Rangers,
You have to debate the topic.
The whole point of the Power Rangers is to help Angel Grove. I did debate the topic. I picked the Zord that would function and
now,
complete
Joe,
the job.
do you want to start this year
Zord that would
pulling
show
a
up
Josh?
It sounds like Joe's morphing into the Josh Zord.
I'm not pulling a Josh. But you said that I didn't debate the topic, and I dare say I did.
Listen,
Josh,
you debated the topic.
Josh picked the animal that does half the topic. He shows up half the time.
I think he just proved to me that was going to be the worst Zord. And listen, we've got we've got 51 more shots at this between me and you. So
guys, let's be real. We're not debating 51 times this year.
Josh has taken a 1-0 lead. So we've got, let's say 40 some odd chances.
Yeah, we're going to have some episodes where we don't debate. We've proven that already.
Maybe we should make the New Year's resolution for our show there will always be a winner, because we do say that every episode.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily live up to that, but at least this week we do have a winner, and that's me. Between this and the Peloton, I'm undefeated.
Josh, there's 2 mentions. I'm gonna have to start. Actually, I think I'm gonna keep a Peloton tracker going this whole year.
Damn.
All right. Well, episode 1 down. 90s nostalgia. It feels good to be back in the saddle. I'm ready to power through this year. This is gonna be a good year for everyone. I'm gonna speak in that into existence. We're all. The calendar turn does nothing. You have to make the change yourself.
I just knocked on wood. Just FYI.
Knocking on all the wood. I want to thank all of our listeners, and I want to thank Isle of 8 for the use of our glorious theme song, Jean Jacket. It also, I sometimes forget the fact that our theme song is called Jean Jacket, and Josh, if he was going to have a nickname, would probably be Jean Jacket.
I'm the Jean Jacket Zord.
So Jean Jacket Zord. So I just feel so happy that we were able to choose that as our theme song, and it lines up so well with the personality of our lovely editor.
Just to springboard off what I said earlier, if you could share the show with a friend, that'd be the best thing you could do to help us out. We don't pay to advertise. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. So just by you telling a friend, it helps us more than anything else. Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media accounts. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think we're on TikTok. I don't know where else we're on. We're on Tinder. It's just not us. It's Brandy, but we still appreciate you checking that out as well. Subscribe there. Give us a rating review. And if you have any questions, you want to tell us the worst Power Ranger Zord or whatever, you can hit us up at TMIWpod or use hashtag TMIWpod. Either way, we'll see it and we get some discussion going. Or if you have another Power Rangers debate you'd like us to hit up, please let us know.
And while you're online, head over to TMIWpod.com. Over there, we've got all sorts of resources where you can like our show on our social media pages, like Joe said. You can check out posts about every single episode. You can buy merchandise, which we'd super appreciate. And you can also sign up for our mailing list. And also a new feature. We just have a tab that's up there right now. And we've got all 6 seasons of Mike and Molly available right now for viewing. So head over to TMIWpod.com, get your Mike and Molly fix, and join us.
This is the only place you can find it too, so
it is. We got exclusive rights to Mike and Molly. I called up my good buddy Billy Gardell personally, and I said, Billy, I need the Mike and Molly. And he said, you got it, Josh. Send them right over to me. They were all pirated, which was weird. He doesn't even have the actual episodes, but nevertheless, you can watch them on our website.
So look forward to our Mike and Molly season of debates coming this year. We again want to say thank you to Device Pit Stop for their investment in our show. As always, there is one winner, but we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! You Mighty Morphin Power Rangers! Yeah!